So something I found interesting is you use a projector to help you with some of your design. Can you tell me about how you started doing this?
Yeah, when I taught high school in Mesa, Arizona, the two guys in the art department, there was a jewelry maker who taught painting and a drawing instructor who taught stained glass, and I came in to help teach them stained glass and teach ceramics. And I just in their classrooms, like one of them had Calvin and Hobbes on the wall, one of them had like the school mascot, and I was just like, "Hey, man, how do you do that? Like, do you just like draw it with the ruler and stuff?" And the guy's like, "Dude, no, we just project it." And my mind was kind of blown at the time. I'm like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." And so, like we went and got pancakes at this guy's house. He had like a big family and big get together on a Saturday, and he's like, "Yeah, come check this out." And his I think his son was like 13 at the time, and there's this full Captain America like over his bed with the shield and everything, and I was just like, "Dude!" And he's like, "Projector." So I just thought like that makes perfect sense, and I bought a little projector while I was in grad school, and there's like 120 bucks off Amazon. I think the trickiest part is like you want the highest light output you can get, and I got one that works. Like it's okay when the lights are on, but it's best when the lights are off, and that might be because I'm almost 40, but I don't know. And I just I have accounts that I follow on Instagram that sell goldfish, and I have pictures of goldfish I took when I used to keep them when I had a house and all that, and I have cell phone pictures of flowers that I've taken, and I just put all those into my MacBook and trace over them in a program called Vectornator, which just makes vectors, which are really useful to put into like plotter cutters or laser cutters or making for business cards because you can expand them infinitely almost and shrink them down and they still kind of retain their lines. So, yeah, I just made a bunch of vectors and then started projecting them onto pieces. And I really like it because you can most of the time I like it. It's a tedious thing, but I'm okay with tedious stuff. You have to kind of like move the piece a whole bunch and then shift the projector around, and then I think because of the way my brain works, like when I draw the goldfish, I draw as many scales as I can, and then when I project it on the piece, I have to make these sacrifices of scales and detail, and it's kind of like a back and forth thing. But it just kind of relates to like how my brain is. Like I I do freehand a bunch of petals. Once I get the main flower on, I'll freehand petals, I'll freehand leaves. Sometimes if I want to overlap petals or wrap it around a fish, I'll do that freehand. But for the most part, I think there's less stress in projecting the image because I get the image that I want and I don't have to give in to being frustrated that it's not like progressing the way I want it to at the time.
I love that because that is like something that anybody can do. I mean, as long as you pay for the projector, you don't have to be
Yeah,
good at drawing. You don't have to be good at all this other stuff. But if you
no,
project it, it makes it so much easier. I love that so much.
I think that's probably the most intuitive part of what I do. I guess that's a fancy way of saying it. I have to think about the answer for a second. Um, I think usually if I look at a piece and there's like a belly to it, and I look at and the fish have a big belly, I want to kind of match the belly of the fish to the belly of the piece. I typically put the focal point of the flower